Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. Here's a recap of our top stories from the week.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the Scranton Army ammunition plant on Sunday. The plant is one of two major munition plants in northeastern Pennsylvania and plays a vital role in Ukraine's defenses against Russia. The facility manufactures large-caliber metal projectiles and mortar projectiles that are some of the most vital equipment in Ukraine's defense. During his visit, the president also met with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who signed a sister state agreement strengthening the economic partnership between Ukraine and Pennsylvania. Under the agreement, Pennsylvania industries will support Ukraine's efforts to rebuild after the war and share best practices across critical industries such as energy, agriculture, digital technologies, workforce development, and defense.
5 months after the April 23rd primary, Jamie Walsh has been certified as the Republican nominee for the 117th District seat in the Pennsylvania House. The result was certified by the Luzerne County Board of Elections on Monday after months of appealed rulings on ballots by Walsh and incumbent state representative Mike Cabell. In the finalized count, Walsh defeated Cabell by 4 votes. In the November general election, Walsh will likely win the seat, as no candidate has filed to run as a Democrat for the race. Cabell conceded the race to Walsh in a statement Monday afternoon, where he congratulated Walsh and wished him well as he takes on the responsibility of representing the 117th District. Preparations for the 2024 presidential election are well underway, and Luzerne County has announced extra security measures to ensure a safe and fair election. Through the help of state and federal advisement, Luzerne County is implementing enhanced security measures on Election Day. Some of the new security measures include live streaming real-time camera recordings and locations where ballots are stored, panic button cell phone software, and radios for poll workers and judges from county emergency services. Staff will also be given lanyards and vests to separate and identify them from visitors. Luzerne County Manager Imelda Krokemo said she is ensuring that these and other safety measures will be heavily enforced in the election, where the safety of both voters and poll workers are top priority. Additional voter information for Luzerne County residents can be found at luzernecounty.org.
Emergency crews responded to a motor vehicle accident in Hazleton on Tuesday evening. According to officials, crews were dispatched to the scene on the 1000 block of South Church Street for reports of a motor vehicle accident with multiple injuries. 2 people were reportedly injured in the crash. The severity of their injuries is unknown at this time. Cunningham police are investigating a series of vehicle break-ins. According to officials, the break-ins took place during the early hours of Saturday morning in the areas of Lawson Place, Willow Street, and Maple Avenue. Residents in the area with surveillance cameras are asked to review their camera footage from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. on the date of the incidents. Anyone who believes they may have been a victim or has useful information regarding the incident is asked to contact the Cunningham Police Department at 570-788-3006. Officials are reminding residents to keep vehicles locked, to not leave valuables in the vehicle, and to park in a well-lit area whenever possible.
Hazleton police are investigating a reported shooting in the area of Alter Street and 17th Street on Tuesday. According to police, officers were called to the scene around 5 o'clock p.m. for reports of shots fired in the area. Upon arriving at the scene, officers say numerous shell casings were found in the area, and a parked vehicle was found with bullet holes. Police also received a report of a gunshot victim arriving at a nearby hospital. Officials say the victim was treated for a non-life-threatening wound to his right index finger and was later released. The investigation into the incident remains ongoing. Stay tuned on WYLN News for updates. Emergency crews in Hanover Township responded to a head-on crash between a school bus and a tractor-trailer Wednesday afternoon. According to officials, the crash occurred at the intersection of South Main Street and Ashley Street just before 2:30 p.m. Although the bus sustained front-end damage, school officials report that no students were injured in the crash. The students riding Bus 1 at the time of the crash had been traveling from the Hanover area junior-senior high school. The Hanover Township Police and fire departments both responded to the scene. After being evaluated by emergency personnel, the students were transported to their bus stops on another bus, while Bus 1 was towed from the scene. Coming up on WYLN News, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Nanticoke Part 4. Plus, we check in with State Representative Dane Watrow on Watrow's Weekly Update. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network Express Care, now open on the Airport Beltway in Hazel Township. Walk-in care 365 days a year for common illness and minor injuries.
My name is Zyla, and tomorrow's gonna be rainy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices. Stop in to one of our 2 locations, Route 93 in Nescopec,
or downtown Hazleton,
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. F&L Doors, your trusted overhead door supplier for over 50 years, providing quality products and services to Eastern PA and beyond with 2 strategic locations. They carry garage doors from leading manufacturers in the industry like Rayner. They guarantee parts and service for your home or business, from new construction to replacement doors, inspections, and service calls. F&L Doors stands behind every job, taking pride in the work they do. Call 800-344-DOOR or visit F&L Doors online at fldoors.com or visit their showrooms in Hazel Township or Schuylkill Haven. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Between 1917 and 1925, Nanticoke experienced a tremendous growth in population, enough for it to qualify as a third-class city. Its residents voted in favor of organizing the community's government as a city in 1924. Dan Sikowski would be elected the first mayor of the city of Nanticoke the following year. The newly anointed city would have extra reasons to celebrate during the 20s, as Nanticoke High School's basketball program was a state powerhouse during this time. In both 1923 and 1926, Nanticoke won the state basketball championship, defeating Monessen and Erie East respectively for the crown. Later, in 1961, Nanticoke, then known as the Rams rather than the Trojans as today, were state champions again, defeating Hickory Township for the title. and the years since, both the Nanticoke boys and girls have maintained strong squads in the hardwood. Meanwhile, in 1945, baseball fans in the city would get to see a local player with an amazing story to tell reach the major leagues. Pete Gray was born in Nanticoke in 1915, the son of Lithuanian immigrants. At age 7 or 8, the exact details varied in tellings over the years, he lost his right arm in a wagon accident. Undaunted, Gray taught himself to bat and field left-handed, and once he reached adulthood, had settled into a regular semi-pro ball in the region, with stops in Pine Grove and Scranton, among other locations. By 1942, he had graduated to the minor leagues, paying for the Can-Am League's Trois-Rivières Renards and the Southern Association's Memphis Chickasaws, and was with the latter squad in 1945 when the St. Louis Browns purchased his contract. Gray would spend one season in St. Louis, in which he would collect 51 hits, but his inability to hit breaking pitches would prove his undoing. This, combined with a lackluster relationship with many teammates who saw him being on the team as a publicity stunt to sell tickets, and the return of regular players from World War II service, led to Gray's release after the season. He would toil in the minors for a few more years, notably in Toledo and Elmira, before returning to Nanticoke, where he struggled with gambling and alcoholism for years before finally coming to terms with what he had accomplished with just one arm. Pete Gray died in 2002, and today rests in Hanover Township's St. Mary's Cemetery. Another former Nanticoke resident started making his mark in acting by the beginning of the 1950s. He had been born Nicholas Adamchuk in 1931, the son of Ukrainian immigrants. His family, feeling burdened by life in the mines, moved to New Jersey when he was 5 after his uncle was killed in a mine accident. By chance, when visiting New York in 1948, he wandered into auditions for the play The Silver Tassie. There, he crossed paths with Jack Palance, himself also an ethnic Ukrainian from northeastern Pennsylvania, who, when auditions commenced, introduced the newcomer to the director as Nick Adams. The newly christened Adams did not get a part in the show, but would get his first role not long thereafter as Muff in Tom Sawyer. Nick Adams then moved out to Hollywood, where he would land a few small roles, but seemed unable to break through to bigger ones. He did count a few bigger stars among his close friends, however, including James Dean, who was able to get Adams cast as Chick in Rebel Without a Cause, and after whose death Adams would dub lines for in Giant. Another of Adams' close friends was Elvis Presley, and he would frequently spend nights at Graceland with the soon-to-be king. Adams finally got a big break in 1959 when he was cast in the lead in the TV show The Rebel, one of Mark Goodson and Bill Todman's rare non-game show productions. Adams, who was heavily involved in the show's writing, stars former Confederate soldier Johnny Yuma, who roamed the West fighting injustice with his father's sawed-off shotgun. The series lasted 2 seasons before it was canceled by ABC out of concerns over its sometimes violent content. Adams' career would stall afterwards, worsened by a faltering marriage and increased drug addiction. In his last years, he would end up making low-budget, low-quality films in Japan and Mexico. On February 7, 1968, Nick Adams was found dead in his Beverly Hills apartment from an apparent drug overdose. He was 36 years old. Closer to home, Nanticoke residents also got to see one of their own ascend to the state's highest office as the 50s began. John Sidney Fine had been born near Nanticoke in 1893. As a child, he milked cows on coal company property. Fine graduated Nanticoke High School's class valedictorian in 1911, then graduated Dickinson Law School 3 years later. He opened his own practice in Wilkes-Barre, and by 1920 had become active in the local Republican Party. This would pay off for him in 1927, when then-Governor Gifford Pinchot appointed Fine to the Luzerne County Court of Common Pleas. He served in this capacity until 1947, when he was promoted by Governor James Duff to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. 3 years later, when Duff resigned his seat to run for the U.S. Senate, Fine announced his bid for the governorship. He would narrowly defeat Philadelphia's Richardson Dilworth to become Pennsylvania's 35th governor. Fine's inauguration in 1951 would be the first in the state's history to be televised. Tragedy would mark the beginning of his tenure, however, as his wife Helen passed away 3 months after he took office from complications due to a head injury sustained during the campaign. A grieving Fine nonetheless pressed forward, determined to do his best despite having to work with a divided legislature. During his single term, as was constitutionally mandated in Pennsylvania at the time, Fine was able to introduce the state's first sales tax, ended segregation in the Pennsylvania National Guard, reorganized the Department of Health, and oversaw the beginning of construction of the Pennsylvania Turnpike's northeast extension. After leaving the governor's office in 1955, John Fine returned to law practice. He died in 1978 and today rests in Nanticoke's Oak Lawn Cemetery. By the time John Fine had left the governor's office, coal mining had entered its long decline in Nanticoke, as well as throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. The remaining mines would close in due time, and the community was forced to find new ways to sustain itself. There would be options, however. Luzerne County Community College opened in Wilkes-Barre in 1967. Within a few years, however, it had outgrown its available space in the city and was looking for a new location. It found it in Nanticoke on a 122-acre site. The college moved there in January 1974 onto a new campus of 8 buildings designed with the then latest technology. Luzerne County Community College continued growing in the decades that followed. Today, it has an enrollment of close to 5,000 students and 7 branch campuses along with the main Nanticoke campus.
Welcome back to Feel Good Friday. I'm joined by Dr. John. Dr. John, how's it going?
Hey, Ryan. It's still appreciative of you coming here, big guy.
Like I said, I love coming here. It's awesome. I love doing these segments. And today we're going to talk about the importance of shoes.
Critical important. You know, I come from a family of 12. I was a paper boy when I was 7 years old. I know the value of saving $1. But I had a woman once. She had left hip pain. Her left leg was always short. No matter what I did, it would never hold the adjustment. She came in one day, Ryan. Her pain was gone. Her leg stayed in place. She said, I threw away my 6-year-old shoes. So right now, I know we all want to save money, but any pair of shoes you have that is longer than 1 year old, throw it away. Research shows that the shoe inside gets weak. People come to me now with plantar fasciitis, which is pain in their heel. They don't make shoes as good as they did 30 years ago. So get new shoes once a year. Maybe change up your shoes. Like I have a certain hiking shoe. I have one that's a walking shoe. I have a sneaker that I wear at work. So change up the shoes, proper socks. Don't go barefoot. Barefooted people get bad feet over the years. So proper shoes are important. You know, depending what kind. I tell people, go to whatever feels comfortable for you. That's what you should buy.
200%. I'd like to thank Dr. John for joining us on this edition of Feel Good Friday. And we'll see you next time.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to Watro's Weekly Update. I'm joined here as always with State Representative Dane Watro. Dane, how's it going today?
Very good. Very busy week. Thank you again for you and WYLN for having me on.
Absolutely. Always appreciate having you on. And it's always definitely a busy week for you, always doing stuff around here in Luzerne and Schuylkill counties. And I know recently you had just had your senior expo here in Hazel Township at the Lower Mall with Senator Dave Argel. So tell us how that went.
First, I got to give a shout out to the staff that I get to work with, because if it wasn't for them, this would not have been possible. It took months of planning, dedication, hours, and just to give them the recognition, because sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't get out there how the hard work that the staff really does. And to have 75 plus vendors out there for our senior citizens was the biggest, largest one ever held at an expo locally here. So I'm very proud of what their accomplishments were and how hard they worked to service our veterans here in our local community and surrounding communities too. It was not even just our district, it was on the outskirts of our district too that seniors came in and were able to get their glucose tested, their blood sugar, their what's that cup you put on your arm, a lot of things that I heard were seniors, this is their annual checkup that they get, and that's unfortunate. So this service is such a great thing to have for them to come up once a year and to see what type of vendors are out there, what type of services. Sometimes you could find free services or services that they just didn't know was available to them. We had state offices there, private businesses, so many great vendors out there that hats off to everybody that was involved in it. Much time and dedication went into this to help our senior citizens. Huge hit. And then right after there, I know we were talking, we hit another event.
Yes, absolutely. You were meeting with the Hazel Township Recreation Authority. I believe it was in the Hazel Township Community Park.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was their first Senior Day event that they had. So tell us about how that went.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I know we had a conversation prior to going on tape here, and it was great. I could not believe it. We pulled in the parking lot. The parking lot was packed. I'm thinking, really? I don't know, is fishing in? Like, what's going on? Because it was their first annual Senior Day event. So usually it takes a couple of years to get things going. Not Hazel Township Recreation Authority. They haven't figured out in year one. The pavilion, which had multiple picnic tables, were filled to capacity. They had a woman singing there, and then they had a jazz band, I believe, from the Freeland area that also played for the senior citizens. It was so cool. They also gave me an opportunity to speak to them as well, and I just said, hey, we reiterate the same thing over and over again. If you have any questions regarding state-related services or anything at all, give us a call, come in the office, see us, and if we don't have the service that you're looking for or the state can't help you, we're going to get you pointed in the right direction to go ahead and make sure that you're being taken care of. It was just a great day filled with seniors and activities like that. They also had bingo. And I said, if you're ever looking for somebody to call bingo, I'm your guy. One thing I learned is don't ever screw up calling bingo, because senior citizens take bingo very seriously.
Yes, they definitely take that so seriously. And also, you could just never turn down bingo anyway. So.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so great to hear they had an event like that, because I didn't even know that we had a senior recreation authority here in the Hazelton area. So it's really great to see how they're making events like this to reach out and let them know about the services they provide here in the Hazelton area.
Right. That's very true. Yeah.
Absolutely. And is there anything else that you wanted to talk with us today about?
I guess Fair Week, right?
Oh, yes.
I know it's out of my district and everything else, but my colleague who represents that area, I actually bumped into him when I was down the fair, and so much good food to eat down there. Not that I really need it, but yeah, we went down there, took a tour around, and got some good food and seen a lot of people locally. So yeah, it's a great thing going on.
Absolutely. And there's still a few more days for people to check out the fair if they haven't done so already. So
right. Yeah.
Definitely an exciting time this time of year. As always, I want to thank Dan Watcher for joining us here on Watcher's Weekly Update. We'll see you next time.
Contact Pete Kasalika for a home and auto quote today.
Attention, WYLN viewers! WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.